Here we go. Another former police officer. Well, only because he's former is because he quit. He was under an internal affairs investigation, so he resigned. But he didn't get to walk away like he thought he was gonna. And here's the reason why. Nashville, Tennessee. Now, I remember this story back in July, where this officer, he decided to go hands-on on a woman. Now, this was the headline back then, July 10th, 2019. But the way this news Channel 5 put it, that he was stripped from his powers, in all actuality, he resigned, and the internal affairs investigation came to a screeching halt. And this woman, she said she just went and peeked and walked back to the car. And by the time she got back to her seat of her car, after going to look at the tag to see if it was expired, this officer, he come up from behind her. He grabbed her and threw her several times against the vehicle. There was no necessary reason for him to use that kind of force against her, Miss Ensley said. It scared me senseless. At one point in the video, it shows Ensley's boyfriend get out of the car, but he resists intervening. In my shoes, I could have done something that led to something worse. I could have been killed, said Mr. Perry. She and her boyfriend were cuffed and issued citations for resisting arrest. What were they being arrested for? Meanwhile, the 18-month-old son was left alone for several minutes in the back seat of a hot car. Said, I had to kick and scream to go get my son, is what the lady said. He's only 1 year old. It's hot, the windows are up. It's hard to trust police officers. Now, something like this happened. It's hard to trust police officers whenever you see them, not just when something like this happens. But they're saying that stripped of his police powers, I kind of spelled that wrong, didn't they? But anyhow, pending the investigation. So now, let's go to the investigation part. And this is the other story showing Officer Barrett. It says the security video of the incident is now part of the investigation. They said they told her tags were expired. As he walked back to the squad car, she got out and went to check the tags. The security video shows him grab her and throw her several times against other vehicles. I think they changed the story since the other page. There was no necessarily reason for him to use that kind of violence against her, she said. And they were both put in the cop car, 18-year-old baby. But now it stands, Teague could still seek a job in law enforcement elsewhere. Now you see where she says, I really hope they strip him of his police powers. And then right underneath it, it says, well, he could still go get his job somewhere else, just like they all do. This is what has to stop. They can't just quit and walk away, but they do every single day. She don't want this to happen to anyone else. Nobody does. And the district attorney will now move forward with the prosecution. You know, they tried to get a hold of his lawyer, but they can't. He's a 4-year veteran. And in 4 years, he did compile other complaints in his personnel file, including 2 citing faulty decision-making, which led to suspensions. Now again, like it says, he's now facing criminal charge. It says he resigned, but the woman has now taken out a warrant for his arrest. How did she do that, I wonder? She could file an internal affairs investigation, but I don't understand how she took a warrant out for his arrest. But anyhow, Metro Police did begin looking into the incident, but when the officer resigned, the internal investigation closed. But it's not clearly the end of it. But how can the investigation be closed? The internal investigation. They depend on that. That's what the police do every single day. They quit their job, internal investigations closed, and they go get a job somewhere else. Remember this guy, because he should never wear a badge again. I'm not even going to show the actual video. If you want to find it, you can find it. It's pretty easy. They pulled up, basically beat up this woman for no reason. Another face of evil in the news.